Okay. I read an article a couple weeks ago. Oh man, am I blurry? And I'll be honest, it bothered me a little bit. Let me just make sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Um, as many of you know, I've been using the Asus Zenfone 9 for 6, maybe 7 months at this point. I got it last summer, I believe. So it's been a while. We're approaching spring. In fact, the first day of spring was a couple days ago. So if not today or yesterday, I don't know. But I've been using it for a while. And there are a bunch of things about the phone that I like. And I'm not going to go over all those right now because I've made other videos about it. Other people have made better videos about it. But the number one reason I bought this phone, literally the number, well, I'd say number two. Well, no, it was number one. And I think two of them go hand in hand. It runs Android, obviously. That's one of the reasons. So, get that out of the way because Apple does make the iPhone 13 and 12 mini, and I had a 12 mini, and I really did like it, but I got tired of iOS. So, getting that out of the way, the other main reason I purchased this particular phone was or is its screen size. 5.9 inches, okay? In 2022 and 2023 standards, or days standards, that is a compact phone, okay? I am able to use it relatively easily with one hand, okay? It is simple. I mean, you compare that to this Pixel 7 that I think has a 6.2 or 6.3 inch screen. I forget. I think it's 6.3. And then you even compare it to my Sony Xperia 5 Mark IV, which has a 6.1 inch screen, but it is narrow, so it makes it a little easier to use. But all in all, both of those phones, which are nowhere near the biggest phones on the market, but they are still big in comparison to this. So I purchased this. Number one reason behind it running Android is the fact that it had a compact size, a compact screen size, compact form factor. It feels so good in the hand, feels good in the pocket, feels good when you're holding it to your face. You're not holding a tablet. Feels good to text with one hand. So many things. Feels good when I'm laying down watching a YouTube video, holding it, ever so delicately because it's such a small phone. Thoroughly enjoyed. Okay? Now, what happened? I'm on some website. What is this? Giz China. And this isn't the first time I've seen it, and I forget the other website that I saw. But another website also said that the Zenfone 10, okay, reportedly is going to have a 6.3 inch screen. Okay, I'm not even going to read the rest of the specs because the only other notable thing is it gets a bigger battery. But a 6.3 inch AMOLED display with 120 hertz refresh rate. This can already do 120 hertz, and it's not variable. And it's actually no, it is because you can put the auto setting on. So yeah, it can already do that. So that's not new news. But making this phone now as big as this phone is not a good thing. Okay. I know that they, in their mind, probably think that, well, if other phone manufacturers are making these bigger phones with bigger displays and they're having success, then we should probably do the same thing. We want more money, we want higher profits, whatever. So I understand where they're coming from, but I disagree with what they think the outcome's going to be because now that their phone is going to be the same size as everybody else's phone, they are now more directly competing with all of those companies. So yes, already Android, okay, already a smartphone, whatever, but they had one thing that these other companies didn't have, which was a more compact size. Now, I would suggest it, but I know what happened is, hey, well, maybe they can make two screen sizes. They don't sell enough phones to do that, so they're not going to do that. I mean, Sony, I don't think sells enough phones to do that, but they do it, so anything's possible. But at this point, if this article is true, and in a couple months, because wow, man, time is really flying. Yeah, I think I got this in maybe August of last year, August or July. I don't remember when it was announced. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, in a couple months, if the Zenfone 10 is officially announced and it's a bigger phone, I can confidently say I am no longer going to be a customer of theirs. I will use this a little bit longer, but one of the issues I complained about in the past is longevity of support. So if this got Android 13, that counts as one operating system update because I'm pretty sure it released with Android 12, right? I mean, I'm getting them confused now. but it's scheduled to get one more. When is that going to happen later this calendar year, at the beginning of next calendar year? I don't know. But at some point, you will no longer get support. And me going to the Zenfone 10 doesn't seem like an option. So I probably will not be continuing as one of their customers if this, in fact, is true. Now, there might be some hope on the horizon. As I mentioned, this little guy, the Google Pixel 7, is a 6.3-inch display phone, okay? It's not, too big, but, it's bigger than what I want for a smartphone, for an everyday smartphone use. They do make the 7A, they make the 6A. The 7A is not out yet, but the 6A came in at 6.1 inches. So the 7A will be out sometime in the near future. I probably announced at Google I/O in May, so in 2 months. But there is talk, speculation, that the Google Pixel 8 will be a sub 6-inch screen. Is that actually going to happen? I don't know. But what I will say this. If that does happen, I will now give my money to Google. Okay? I will trade this little guy in for a smaller phone. If the trade-in deals for the Pixel 8 are as good as they were for the Pixel 7, without hesitation, I will go give some money to Best Buy, trade this guy in, and move on to the Pixel 8 with the, Tensor G3 in it at that point, and be okay. Now, one of the last videos that I just recorded, haven't uploaded yet, and hopefully we'll have by the time that I upload this guy. The one thing that I will then be losing as a result of switching maybe back over to a Pixel is the headphone jack. But the headphone jack is nice. It definitely is. But it comes secondary to the small form factor. And I'm saying that today. It might change. By the time all this is said and done, it might change. But going up to a screen size this big, I could use it. I would get used to it. But the novelty of a smaller phone would be missed. So what am I going to do? Time will tell. But I figured I'd just pass on this information in the event that somebody was like, "Well, I'll just wait for the Zenfone 10." I know the 8 and the 9 were smaller phones. I don't really pay attention to, or did not pay attention to the 8 or anything prior, because there were other compact phones on the market ish. So yeah, if it goes through and the phone actually does get bigger. But if it keeps the headphone jack, will I lean still? I'm still, if the Pixel 8 gets smaller, I'm trading this in regardless. So, that's honestly not even a true factor in terms of whether or not I'm going to keep my SIM card in this phone. It's, that's going to happen if the Pixel 8 is smaller. But if this phone gets bigger, will I buy the Zenfone 10? And I don't know the answer to that question yet. So for all of you out there who enjoy small phones, their days are numbered. They continue to disappear. And I hope we've reached the point of smartphones not getting any bigger. Like at some point, yes, like if I'm walking around with this iPad mini in my pocket and using this as a phone, you might, okay, what's going on here? If I'm walking around like this, and at that point you're like, okay, you have to use headphones because you look ridiculous and it's too uncomfortable to talk on the phone like this. Hopefully, phones never get this big. But, all in all, I will say I think I'm a little disappointed. I know I will be disappointed if this phone gets bigger. Will I buy it? I don't know. So time will tell. And I know there was one other point that I wanted to make, but I do not remember what it is. So on that note, I think it's time for me to shut up.